Hey e-commerce marketing podcast listener, I wanted to let you know that we have created 16 e-commerce marketing videos for you. You can download these free videos by visiting ecommercemarketingpodcast.com/videos or by texting the word videos to +1 480 418 1411. These step-by-step video marketing tutorials will teach you how to drive more traffic to your e-commerce website, how to get more backlinks to your e-commerce website, and how to optimize your website to get more paid customers. Get the videos right now by visiting ecommercemarketingpodcast.com/videos or by texting videos to +1 480 418 1411. Welcome to the e-commerce marketing podcast. Today's guest is Michael Brown from deathwishcoffee.com. Welcome to the podcast, Michael.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
We usually talk about e-commerce marketing strategies to help other e-commerce businesses and online businesses try to get more traffic and sales and customers. But before we delve into the strategies you guys are using, can you just give us a quick bio about Death Wish Coffee and the whole story about deathwishcoffee.com?
Yeah, no problem. So Death Wish Coffee was born out of my coffee shop. I actually own a small brick and mortar coffee shop in Saratoga Springs, New York called Saratoga Coffee Traders. And my customers would come in and ask me for a stronger cup of coffee. And I went online to see what was out there. And at the time, there was no strong coffees on the market. So what I did is I took what I knew about coffee and I started bringing in beans from all over the world. And, as I brought these beans in from all over the world, I compared them and found which had the greatest flavor, greatest caffeine content. And I blended them together until I had a product that was, I thought it was dynamite. So I started testing it out on my customers. They liked it. From there, I decided that I could possibly try to sell this online. So I made a website and started running Facebook ads. And that's how I had my first sale. This was back in, I think, late 2011, where I sold my first bag of coffee. And I actually didn't even have the packaging at the time I sold my first product. I just had the website and the beans. So I went to Staples, pulled together some labeling software and some labels and bags. And I put together this bag. I sent it out to my customer and he gave me a good review. And that's pretty much where it started. From there, I really just focused on e-commerce for the last 6 years. And we've had a bunch of success. We've been featured on Good Morning America, other talk shows. We had a Super Bowl commercial last year. And we also sponsored a NASCAR last year. So we've grown a lot over the past 6 years. It's been a crazy adventure. And I don't know, it's been quite the experience.
Okay. And is there something special that makes your coffee stronger or keeps, I don't know, is it that it's stronger coffee or is it that you have the caffeine in your system for a longer time without crashing?
Yeah, so it is. Our focus was initially to create a strong flavor with some added caffeine. It turns out that caffeineinformer.com, they came out and reported that we had higher, I think double the caffeine than most coffee that were on the market at the time. So not only is it strong in flavor, but it's strong in caffeine content as well. And, that's just a result of the beans we use in the roasting process. Mm-hmm. There's thousands of different types of coffee, and the coffee changes. Coffee's a crop, so it changes year after year. So we're always getting beans in and testing them out, sending them to the lab and seeing what the most, we're looking for a flavor profile and we're looking for the added caffeine. But it's 100% natural. We don't add any caffeine. It's 100% organic and fair trade. My team and I here, we're very responsible. We have very strong social responsibility values, and our customers appreciate that as well.
Okay. You had mentioned Facebook earlier. You created a Facebook ad to get your first customer. But what are the other marketing strategies that you guys are currently using to get your customers?
So one of the, staples I think of any e-commerce store is a strong mailing list. We've had a mailing list and email list growing since 2011.
Okay.
And we go through that and we have a double opt-in. So we keep that strong. And I think that because that list will keep growing with people who, it's very targeted. It's people who love to buy coffee online. And, with that list, we're able to remarket it to them throughout the year. So that's kind of our bread and butter. And we try to provide as much value as possible through that newsletter. And with that newsletter, we try to have some type of deal or something special going on every week because we don't want the store to get stale. We don't want the company to get stale. So we always have exciting announcements, new product announcements, deals, new influencers we're working with every week, at least one or two times. There's something special we're putting out there. And actually, we just started a podcast and we have a pretty active blog right now. So, it's almost every day we have great content coming out and we're just constantly delivering value to our customers. And because of that, we're able to have a very passionate group of customers. And with that passionate group of customers, they attract other passionate people. And once you get that, like a strong core group of passionate customers that will tell the world about your product, you become almost unstoppable because, like I said, they bring in other passionate customers, and that word of mouth referrals it's like you can't buy that. It's just earned trust from years and years of great stuff that we're delivering to them.
And with coffee customers, when it comes to coffee people, they're very serious about their coffee, so they're very loyal. If they find the right product, they'll let their friends know and they will stick with it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Okay, so with email, since you guys are focusing on email, there's a lot of things you can do with email marketing. So if you can just break it down for us, maybe let's start with how do you collect emails on your website? What are the different strategies you're using to get those subscribers? Are you doing content upgrades? Do you have like a newsletter subscriber thing? What are the different ways that you're bringing in people into your email funnel?
So some of our products are very limited number, just because they're custom made, like our coffee mugs, for example. We're only able to make a certain number at a time, and we release those to our mailing lists customers ahead of time. So that's kind of one incentive for being on our list. You get notified of new product releases before everyone else. Mm-hmm. And as people go through the checkout process to try our coffee, they're asked if they'd like to subscribe to the mailing list. A lot of subscribers get added through that channel. Like I said, it is a double opt-in, so they'll get an email asking them if they want to continue to be on the list. And we also have we just constantly deliver content to our subscribers, and we promote. I think we have a pop-up on our website that says, would you like to? Oh, and I also believe we have giveaways to our mailing list. Weekly giveaways. We give away a month's worth of coffee every week. So we're just constantly giving stuff away just to get people into the mailing list. But at the same time, we don't want people on our list that we don't want to be a pain in the neck. We don't want people there just to be there, because we're not so much focused on the number. We're more focused on the quality of the people on the list. We want people on the list who want to get that information every day and who are passionate about the coffee.
Okay. And if you were to assign or give a dollar value to your mailing list, what would it be? And the reason I'm asking this question is I want to figure out, since you guys focus so much on your email list, I'm just trying to figure out how important is it to your business? And that's why I'm curious. You don't have to give a real number, but as far as importance, what's the dollar value you'd give to your list?
The dollar value? Boy, I tell everyone my email list is my most important asset. It's the most important asset of my company out of everything. So I'm very protective over it. It gets, only me and a couple other people in the company are able to even access it, to access those customers. So, in dollars, it's millions of dollars.
Okay.
Millions of dollars.
Okay. So let's move on. You guys use the mailing list and content to get the customers. And do you have benchmarks as far as how you're planning to improve your results with what you're doing with your email marketing and content marketing?
Yeah. More than anything, it's consistency. That's what we've noticed over the past few years, is as long as we stay consistent with what we're doing, it keeps that wheel spinning, because I think of it as a big big pinwheel. If it starts slowing down, it'll be harder to get going again. So if we can stay consistent with our content, with our social media, with delivering value through our email list week after week after week, then that seems to it starts to grow itself, I think, after a while. And we stay up to date on what the new tools and techniques are. I have Google Alerts set up on every e-commerce marketing term you can think of. So everything that comes across my desk or across my email, we look into, we try. Most of the stuff doesn't work. Some of the stuff does work, and we keep doing what works. Or at least we try to, and we cut out the other stuff.
Okay, since you're doing the consistency thing, are you measuring? Because when you look at your conversion optimization and you're looking at your data, what are you measuring for? Is it like the number of emails that you're getting, or is it the number of sales, the number of subscribers, churn? What are the metrics you're looking for your conversion?
Yeah, I mean, we measured just about everything. I think that's the beauty of internet marketing is we could follow all the numbers. At the same time, I think sometimes I get lost in all the numbers because there are so many out there. So I do watch the traffic to the website and the traffic specifically from the emails. I do watch our conversion rate and our cart size, and I don't know, it's always almost like an imbalance of numbers sometimes. Like we can put off great content and we could drive tons of traffic, but then our conversion rate will drop, and then our average cart size might get smaller. If we put a lower priced product out there, the conversion rate might increase, but the cart size goes down. So there's always so many variables in there. But I think the question you're asking is how do I measure success with my email marketing? And I do measure success with click-throughs from my emails. And subscriber growth. So if subscribers growth is growing well, but we're not getting as many click-throughs or a disproportionate amount of click-throughs, then I see that as a problem. So as long as I know if people are clicking through and spending a lot of time on the web pages after the click-through, then we are providing them something of value. And the conversion is usually, I'd say they typically come from people who are on the site for a little longer period of time, but at the same time, sometimes we're able to drive a ton of traffic and the sales don't correlate 100%.
Okay. And who's managing this whole marketing campaign? Do you have a team, or you just, I know with the email list, you said a couple of people have access to that, but the rest of the whole marketing campaign, how many people do you have who are managing this? Are you doing this by yourself? And a lot of our listeners, this is a question they've always wanted me to ask, just because, a lot of them are small teams, or it could be one person doing everything. And with the tools we have today, you can manage a lot of things by yourself if you create a good dashboard. So at Deathwish, how many people are managing this campaign? How big is your team?
Yeah, we're always playing with different dashboards and trying to find the one that works the best for us. I don't think we've hit the head on exactly an all-encompassing dashboard that works for us. Right now, my entire team, that includes my whole production team as well, there's 20 of us. But just on the marketing side, there's myself, Taya, Alyssa, and Thomas. Thomas is our graphic designer. Alyssa does a lot of our content creation and content sourcing, and Taya just manages the whole marketing process, plus does all of our emails. So we're a relatively small team. There's four of us, and Kane works with some of our Facebook ads, Amazon ads, some of our ad platforms. So 5 of us total. We each kind of pick a certain thing that we like or that we're good at and kind of tackle it from there.
And are people remote, working from home, or are you guys at one location?
Yeah, we're at one location. I really, even though we're an e-commerce business primarily, and people could work from home, I don't love that. I love there's something to be said about having everyone in the same room at the same time, where we can spit ideas back and forth and find something that works. So yeah, everyone's pretty much required to be here 8 to 5. And, the best part about it is they'll still stay later. And I don't know, we have an atmosphere here that's pretty fun, and we enjoy each other's company, and we're always doing amazing things and surprising each other. So yeah, we keep it fun, but we are always here together, 5 days a week.
Yeah, I think from my experience, I've had the same type of thing. Whenever you're with the team in one place, you tend to work faster and the communication is faster compared to. I recently traveled, visiting my siblings back in Washington, D.C., and I felt that I was kind of slow, getting back to people just doing my tasks. But whenever you're with the team, you tend to do things and get things done faster. But that's just my experience. I mean, there's other people who prefer, working remotely. But I tend to agree. It's always best to be in the same room.
Yeah, and we have a morning meeting every morning. We have a meeting and we talk about our goals for the day, what we got accomplished yesterday, and what our plans are for the day. And just spitting those things out to people that you're working with and telling them, hey, I'm holding myself accountable for this. And then following up the next day with, hey, did you do what you said you're going to do? You wouldn't believe how much more work gets done and how we can consistently produce some pretty cool stuff like day after day.
So what have been some of your struggles in the last 12 months when you're growing Death Wish Coffee? I'm sure you said that you've grown fast and you've had a lot of growth, but what have been some of the struggles or obstacles that you've overcome?
Yeah, so, I mean, we have had a lot of success recently, which, we're all very blessed and we're having a lot of fun. In terms of the struggles, I know we do work closely together all the time. So there is some, I don't know how you call them, I guess arguments and differences of opinion. But, I wouldn't call them huge problems. It's just kind of, we're just a passionate group of people. So things get heated here. So that's, that's a struggle sometimes. But most of the time, I think it's positive. Also, I feel, and probably a lot of people do, there's so many new marketing techniques and marketing programs and marketing interfaces, software. We do tend to get distracted sometimes, so we'll start focusing on something where, we're still a small team, so we can't focus on everything. And I think sometimes we try to, and we'll stop working on a technique that really works, and we'll start focusing on something that seems like it has a lot of promise, but in reality, it's just a big distraction. So, continuing to do what works and not getting distracted are our biggest struggles. I have this saying I say to my team all the time. I'm like, hey, why aren't we doing, X, Y, Z anymore? It was working so well that we stopped doing it,
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I have to revisit every year. Like, hey, what worked last year? I actually have a sign on my wall over here. It's like marketing that actually works. And it's like a list of like marketing things that actually work,
Yeah, I think everybody's a victim to that. Just because we are all in the industry, we're all doing online marketing, you end up reading this article that worked for this business that was a problem unique to them, and you're so excited because everybody's so excited talking about XYZ. You start doing that, you forget, you drop the ball, you forget about growing your email list, and you forget about fixing your funnels just because everybody else is talking about this one thing.
Yep.
So when you talked about the interpersonal, I guess, growing pains or just dealing with people, what are some of the resolutions you guys have come up with when you're dealing with other people, or how to, I guess, argue passionately, or how do you guys solve?
I don't know if we ever really.
Are there special books you guys read? Like, what do you do for your communication? How do you solve that?
Yeah, I mean, one thing we have in place is that everyone in the company has an opportunity to speak. There's no one person that has hierarchy, and I shouldn't say like overall hierarchy of anyone else's decisions. Everyone has a voice in the company.
Okay.
So that's very important. And I actually, as the owner of the company, I get overruled a lot. And I accept that because, I think there's something to be said about majority rules to some extent. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I feel very passionate that something's going to fail, it's going to cost the business a lot of money, I'll step in, I'll put an end to it. But some of the times, we'll just let majority rule. And even if I think it may not be the best decision, there's always a lesson to be learned, whether we succeed or we fail. And as long as we don't make the same mistake again, we're pretty content with that. There's not a fear of failing here. I encourage it a lot. So I think people know that although there's, we might get heated and passionate about things, like no one's going to get in trouble for making the wrong decision. It's just a learning experience.
Okay. And you mentioned that you have the brick and mortar and you also have the online store. Are there other places that you still sell Deathwish coffee or just your other products?
Yeah, I do have a coffee shop still. I don't spend hardly any time up there. I have a coffee shop manager who manages that, but we do sell Deathwish products up there. And we also just moved into 600 grocery stores this year. Safeway is on the West Coast, Price Chopper, Hannaford, and I think Healthy Living over here on the East Coast in upstate New York. But, primarily like 95% of our sales are through our website. We operate on the Shopify network and Amazon. We do quite a bit on Amazon and a little bit on eBay as well. We just started selling on jet.com and walmart.com as well.
Okay, how was the process getting into those marketplaces like Jet? And did you have any things people should, if somebody's interested in getting into those marketplaces, any pointers or tips?
Yeah, so with jet.com, didn't manage it personally. One of the members on my team managed it. They worked a lot with a company called, I don't know if you ever heard of a company called Scubana. It's Scubana. They have a pretty good blog that we follow to get in contact with a lot of the people at jet.com and walmart.com. I think they're the same company now, but we follow that. And it wasn't super easy. It wasn't as easy as Amazon was selling on Amazon. It took a lot more phone calls. It wasn't just online forms. We had to jump through a couple hoops, which I don't know. I think it's a good thing. When you have to jump through some hoops, then I don't know. I think it keeps other sellers out to some extent.
Yeah. And thanks for being on the podcast. Do you have any final thoughts as far as marketing your online store, or just anything we've discussed today?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I don't know. I mean, just for everyone's business out there, make sure you work on your business every day. I think that's the most important thing, especially when you're just getting started. And by working on your business every day, that's not the same as working in your business. I got caught working in my business a lot when I first started, and my business wasn't growing. It wasn't until I hired someone to work in my business so I could work on my business and do those marketing techniques and build my email list and find those influencers. That's when the real growth starts coming. So keep that in mind. Focus on the important activities.
And how can people reach you?
So yeah, you can reach me on Twitter. Twitter's probably the easiest. I'm on my Twitter every day, and my Twitter tag is Mike Brown DWC. And you can also reach me just through deathwishcoffee.com. If you go there, there's a contact us button. And always get a hold of me through there. My customer service department will vet it first, but after that it'll go right through. But the best way is Mike Brown DWC.
Okay.
On Twitter.
And the last question: what is the one thing an e-commerce business can do right now to help their business grow, get traffic, get sales?
I don't think it's one thing, but I'm sorry, but it is pretty easy. And you create something of value. You find people who value this thing you created, and then you ask them. You ask them for a follow. You ask them for a share. You ask them for a sale. I think a lot of marketers out there right now, they try to fool or trick their potential customers into a conversion. But sometimes it's just a simple ask. And, if it's of value to those people, they'll buy it and they'll like it and they'll share it and they'll tell their friends about it.
Okay. Thank you for being on the podcast, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the E-commerce Marketing Podcast. Join the E-commerce Marketing Podcast Facebook group to learn, connect, collaborate, and grow with other e-commerce marketers at ecommercemarketingpodcast.com/FB. ecommercemarketingpodcast.com/FB. Subscribe to us on iTunes by searching for E-commerce Marketing Podcast, and please leave a rating and a review. Thank you for listening. See you next time.